Hello and welcome to episode 68 of the Your Way podcast. I'm going to jump straight in today because there's a really important topic that we need to talk about, and so let's just go. Something that has come up a lot for me personally, but I'm noticing it come up over and over again now, whether it's in Wealthy Witches, whether it's in one-on-one clients or the group spaces that I am in, is how you navigate the experience of either doing your healing work and becoming more in touch with your emotions, and then your partner, husband, wife, girlfriend, boyfriend, whatever, um, not being able to handle it or not being able to support you in the way you wish. And or when you then feel this pull to do something different in your work, so whether that is a career change, whether it's changing your niche if you're already an entrepreneur, whether it's sort of bringing a slightly edgier part of you out into the open. And again, those that are closest to you don't respond in the way that you would like. And then it feels very hard. So I thought we would get into it because this is something that I have had to navigate personally a lot, and I've walked a lot of clients through. And I think it's important to talk about openly, just so we can normalize the experience a bit as well. Because I think it's really easy to think, oh, like everyone else is out there and they're going through this work, and it's only me that has a husband who shuts me down when I cry, or it's only me who has a partner who isn't kind of supporting me when I want to do the thing that makes me happy. And it's just not true. So let's go one at a time. But what I would say to begin with is if you are kind of feeling already like, yes, this episode is for me, then I just want to point you towards the show notes because there is a masterclass workshop that you can download in there that's going to be really, really supportive called Lead Without Losing Yourself. Really, really beneficial, really dives into some of this in more detail and in a more practical way. So if you haven't got it already, head to the show notes, download Lead Without Losing Yourself, come and let me know how you got on. So the first one. So if I just take, I think sometimes it's just easy to talk about me because then I'm not breaching confidentiality of clients. But my experience in my life was actually that I was, of the two of us, of me and Nat, the more emotionally suppressed. So I didn't really cry. Like we would watch films and Nat would cry and he'd be like, I don't understand how you aren't crying at this. And I would be like, well, I don't understand how you are crying at this. And so he was always the more emotional of the two of us. And yet, when I started to do my healing work, there were large periods of time where I was crying an awful lot because all of that emotion had been suppressed for decades. So, of course, when I started to open myself up to it, it needed to come out. And it made him really uncomfortable. And like, there were points in time where he was like, but I thought this work was meant to make you feel better. Like, it's really sad seeing you like this. I went through big periods where I kind of was grappling with this realization that I didn't think that I was lovable, that I didn't love myself. And he was like, it's so sad that this is how you feel. And it's like, no, but I've obviously always felt this way. I just hidden it from myself as well. Um, and one thing that happened over and over again, and I'm sharing this specifically because this is a theme with everyone pretty much that I talked to about this, was the discomfort for him when I got upset was that me getting upset triggered something in him that made him feel like he had done something wrong. And so there I am being upset. There he is being triggered, thinking he's done something wrong. I'm upset. I'm like, I want comforting. I want a cuddle. I want support. He's like, she's upset. I've done something wrong. Oh shit, I'm going to get in trouble. Better keep my head down. And or dissociate or check out or just essentially do anything, but definitely don't go anywhere near it. So we ended up in this dynamic quite a lot of like, hang on a minute, I am finally learning to feel my emotions and express my emotions. It actually feels a quite important, healthy part of me being a healthy, happy, normal human that at the times when I feel sad, I'm actually allowed to cry. And Boogerlug's over there, who's always been a crier, is now like, can you not cry? Why are you crying? Anyway, and it just caused all of these challenges, okay? And this is coming up so much for people at the moment. So I want to talk just a little bit about, I guess, how we've navigated it. So one of the good things in our marriage, and you're not necessarily going to get there, is that Nat has also had therapy. So Nat understood that me being upset kind of translated into some of his childhood stuff where upsetting people meant getting told off, meant like not very nice things happening. And so we had to work to kind of uncouple I'm crying with he's wrong. Okay. So that was part of it. There was also an element of me just letting him know why I was doing it, what was going on, walking him through the process, and also making it really clear to him what I needed in those moments. Because in his head, he was like, Louise is upset. She needs space. I'm going to give her space. So to actually explain, like, no, in those moments, I really just need a hug. I need you to hold me. Clients that have worked with me for a long time, like, will know that I've talked about that being held and then having his hand on my head feeling really very soothing and very nourishing. But it didn't happen by magic. It happened as a result of these challenges and then us coming together and figuring out how we work through it. Now, if your partner doesn't have therapy, they don't get to that point, they may never get to that place of this is why this feels hard. It's also about how do you navigate this relationship where your new boundary is when I feel upset, I'm going to cry in a space where that might not feel safe for them. So that might be that you navigate a way that you can do it with them, but it also might be that you look for other spaces and other places to get that support. And it would be lovely, right? It would be lovely if our other half could meet all of our needs. Ultimately, this was a hard lesson I learned in my therapy. It's not actually their job, even though the TV and films would tell us otherwise. But it's also about how do we provide a space for ourselves to meet our needs. So how do you get an emotional outlet otherwise if you can't in that space? So that's the first thing I just want to normalize and share and bring to the surface. And then the second thing is what happens when you're going through what, let's be clear, feels like a very brave, uncomfortable switch. When you feel that mission calling, when you're sort of in your job and you're like, I can't do this anymore. Like, this cannot be the point of my life. I need to do something else. And you get that bravery and courage to feel into the thing that you're really here to do and how you're here to serve and what you're here to share. And then you go to your partner with it, and they're like, that's a stupid idea. Why would you do that? Why can't you keep doing what you're doing already? So when I started talking about witches and more spiritual things, Nat was very concerned. He was like, why would you burn down your whole business? He was like, you've built this brilliant business and now you're just going to burn the whole thing down. And it was at a point in time where I was feeling very uncomfortable about talking it. Like it felt very edgy to be talking and sharing about these things. And it's like, thanks, babe. Like support, like I've already got all of those concerns. I don't need you to add to them. And then we take a step back and we realize that so often our partners are a mirror. They're a mirror to what we're thinking, how we're feeling, the stuff that we need to look at. But in the moment, again, doesn't make it any easier when we're trying to navigate these big changes and our loved ones, parents do it too, basically are like, no. Can't you stay the same? Could you stay the same, please? Because I'm comfortable with you being the same. And this all feels a bit risky and it feels uncomfortable. They're not going to say it like this, but often it's not that they don't trust you or they don't think you can do it. It's just you're unsettling the status quo, which is then uncomfortable for them. It taps into their safety stuff. It also might go against their rules for like what you're supposed to do. So most of the people that I work with have gone away from that success requires hard work and sacrifice, and you do a job and you work your way up the ranks, blah, 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 blah. Right? They've moved away from that. But it doesn't mean that their significant other has moved away from that. It doesn't mean that their significant other has changed in any way whatsoever. So again, then it's coming back to this is where we have to build that nervous system capacity to hold that of no, like I am deeply connected now to my truth and what I want for my life and what I don't want for my life and what I'm here to do and what I'm not here to do. And so, can I hold this space of you're freaking out and you're not sure? Also, a part of me is freaking out and isn't sure. How do I then still move forward regardless? Okay. Now, I think for many of us, depending on our attachment style, when we get into either of these situations, the immediate default is like, this marriage can't survive, this marriage can't last. I need them to be completely supportive. And if they aren't going to do the work when I'm going to do the work, then it's not gonna last and we just need to end. And I've done that several times, right? But then it's also like, can you take that step back enough to consider where their reaction is actually beneficial to you? Where is it asking you to heal more and explore more and consider more? And and also where is your stuff actually going to help them to heal some of their stuff? Because the whole point of a relationship also is that it's two people that come together to work through their things and then hopefully you help the other heal the thing that they need to heal and you grow together, right? Growing together doesn't always look super happy. Um, I can't remember if it was last weekend. It was. So I'm recording this on a Wednesday. So last Friday, me and Nat have Sydney goes to doggy daycare on a Friday and we have date day. So last Friday, we went to Stratford upon Avon. It was a glorious day. I just wanted us to have a nice day together. And we didn't because we were in one of these like tussly things because we're navigating a slight change in our dynamic because I have stepped away from that next layer of mothering and nagging and trying to tell Nat what to do. Nat has stepped into actually, this is great. I'm not being nagged anymore. I'm actually going to take care of myself and really focus on all of those things Louise has been nagging me for years, but I wasn't going to do it when she was nagging me. There's a lesson in there for you, right? But we are now navigating this change in dynamic again, which feels a bit uncomfortable for both of us, but probably more uncomfortable for me because I'm trying to have to, I'm now like, oh, but if I'm not spending all of this time trying to manage him or worry about what he's doing or all the rest of it, like, what do I do with myself? What do I do with myself, essentially? So anyway, big, like challenging conversation. And I just, like most of the time I'm up for it. But on this particular day, I was like, I just really just wanted a nice, easy day. I said to Nat, I'm not enjoying myself. And he was just so delighted. He was like, no, but this is so good because this is how we grow. And these conversations are difficult, but they always make us stronger. And when you're like, who's the life coach in this relationship? But also he's right, right? He's right. But it's so easy in those difficulties to be like, we can't get past this. We can't move past this. Like this is the thing that's finally going to do us in. Um, when it often isn't. So I just wanted to bring that stuff through because I want to normalize some of this stuff because it is so, so normal. And the thing that can really help in these situations is having people around you who have been through or are going through similar things. So, like, a space where you can share things and everyone in the space is like, oh, yeah, I'm going through that as well. Right? It makes a huge, huge difference. Now, for me as an entrepreneur, what I've found over the years is often you can have that space to talk about your personal things and what's going on. Or you can have a space where you talk about your business things, and then maybe there's another space for doing the nervous system work, and then maybe there's a space for like spiritual exploration. But it's very inefficient, right? Because you're kind of, well, sometimes in business, you want your business person to know what's going on in your life, or like you want all of it to be together. You're just kind of having to repeat yourself, or like it's one person for this and one person for that, or you go into a space and the space is great, but then there's hundreds of people or sometimes thousands of people in there, and then you've got fuck all chance of getting any actual support for yourself and your own stuff. And what I have noticed and found for myself is having one space that I can go to where, number one, no one in the space is going to bat an eyelid about anything that I'm sharing. 9 times out of 10, they're all going to nod along and be like, oh, yeah, me too. A space where you can do the mindset work, but also the nervous system work. Like, it doesn't matter where you are in your business and your life, the next layer is going to bring up the next stuff. And then it's like, is there somewhere that can hold me through that whilst also helping me navigate the business challenges, the life challenges, the different pieces that come up, where I'm not drowning in a sea of other people. And this is why I have very, very intentionally created the new Wealthy Witches mastermind space for established entrepreneurs, which is called the soul expansion. So when you are pulled towards that next level, that soul expansion place, it's not like you need to go back and do the basic like nervous system healing work. You've done all of that, but undoubtedly there will be these things that come up where there are wobbles and you want someone to hold you. You want to be in a space of like-minded others, but also it's like the intimacy of the space. And this is why that space is capped at 6 people. So it's a 5 month mastermind. It's capped at 6 people. You get 2 one-on-one sessions with me every single month. And this is another big difference, right? Every group session you turn up to, I will be the one delivering the group session. I'm not going to outsource it to some other coach. It's me supporting you, getting to know all of you and holding all of you. You'll have 2 one-on-one sessions a month that you can bring anything to, group Telegram support all of the time, a portal of materials, and then the ability to come to a retreat in person if you wish, to spend some time in person with your fellow masterminders. But I think it's so important to talk about this because you do get to a point where it's like, can I just have one space, one person who can hold all of me, where it's a small space, it's intimate. Like she's actually going to know what's going on. Like you aren't going to need to jog my memory. I'm not going to be juggling so many clients that I'm not going to remember. My life isn't so desperately more important than my work that I'm going to decide I can't be fucked to deliver any of the coaching sessions. So I'm going to get somebody else in to do it. It's like, no, this is me holding you through that 5 month period as you really lean into the next level of your soul mission that you're being called forward to do. And we navigate the human, we navigate the health. This is really about, it's like the person behind the brand and it's health and you first in a way that I don't think you see in a lot of masterminds that have a business focus. So it's very much about getting you fortified and ready to complete your mission alongside what's the business strategy, what's the mindset work, all of those different pieces. So if this is calling you, check out the information below. The plan is to start the mastermind in the second half of February. So we've moved into the fire horse year. So kind of that good, like, let's go momentum energy. If you're listening to this conversation and you're like, all of this conversation resonates, but I am not currently an established entrepreneur, but maybe you are in a place where you're like, but I would like to leave my corporate job, or you have left your corporate job already, but you are a newer entrepreneur, then the next step for you, or a step for you, could be the Wealthy Witches Path to Freedom group. So that group is very much tailored to people who are still in corporate and want to leave, or people who have recently set up their own business. The next group for that will start in April, but with both spaces, as soon as you join, you get access to a portal full of magical materials, trainings, activations, meditations, discussion, all everything, basically, essentially everything that you need to bring your mission to life and take care of you is in that portal. But the sooner you join, the sooner you get access to the portal, and there are also additional one-on-one sessions. So the sooner you join, the more one-on-one support you get. So the group calls won't start for Path to Freedom until April, but you could join now and start having some one-on-one support with me. And then if you're listening to that and you're like, this is all great, but I've got absolutely no interest in having a like soul-led mission business focus, and you really are in a space where you just want to focus on you and your health and your wellness and working in line with the seasons and your natural rhythms, then my Time Alchemy membership is perfect. Okay, so that's a flexible membership. You can come in for as long as you like. We have a new program every single month, and that really is focused on you, taking care of you, working with your natural rhythms. How do we work with the seasons? So I'm recording this in January. So the moment we're looking at hibernation. So we're about to do a call where we focus on tapping into your future self and everything that you've achieved. So you can bring that into the present. Next month, we're doing one of the amazing programs from the Your Way Mastermind that was existential. And that is about really understanding who are you? Why are you here? What's your purpose? Not necessarily from a career perspective. And that's beautiful. So it's interesting. This month, we're going forwards to future self. Next month, we're going backwards into child self, like connecting with that childlike essence to be really, really be able to tap into who you are. And then March, we will start the spring program. So that's a bit of traditional Chinese medicine, a bit of alchemizing anger, but also how are we planting those seeds of the things that we want to grow throughout the year. So they're the kind of the classes. And then again, with Time Alchemy, there is a portal of materials that walk you through essentially the whole gamut from very practical time management tools all the way through to working with the dream, working with the seasons, but essentially that space is like your space to come and talk about anything. So we talk about aliens in there, we talk about conspiracy theories, but it's like it's basically your space where you're like, I've got no one I can go and talk to about this and no one's going to get it. If that's where you're at and you aren't interested in a business focus, then come into Time Alchemy. So information on all of that stuff is down in the show notes. If you enjoyed today's episode, please leave me a review, write a comment, do something, share it with a friend. I'm ever so grateful because the more that this can spread out to other people, the more, particularly this topic today, the more people can be like, oh, it's not just me, and there is a way through. So I will see you next time. Have a beautiful week. And yeah, just keep noticing where life is trying to lead you. Ciao for now.